Yes.
which I think this audience would certainly be interested in. Would you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. I had some refugee-related experiences between 1988 and 1992 that were quite extensive. I helped refugees from Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos come to the United States. And then I returned to the United States in early 1993, and a crisis occurred. As your viewers may recall, there was a coup in Haiti. Aristide was pushed out, and there were a lot of people in a very difficult situation who were fearing for their safety and fearing for their lives, and they were fleeing the country. And they were getting on boats, risky boats, and trying to make their way to Florida. And too many of them were perishing at sea. And the State Department contacted me and wanted me to set up a refugee processing center in Haiti so that people would stop getting on boats and we could have a more orderly and more appropriate sort of refugee processing center there, so that if people did need asylum, if they did need to leave the country for fear of their life and for fear of persecution, they were able to do so, and we, the United States government, would fly them to the United States from Haiti. And so I helped set up that operation in 1993, and it was an honor to help a lot of people get that passageway safely to the United States of America.
I guess, and also they'll probably avoid a lot of, avoid a lot of death, because when folks really hit the sea at the time in crises like this, their life is at risk. So I would assume that was a prevention.
Absolutely, it was a prevention.
Who was the president at the time?
That was President Bill Clinton. It was as soon as he came into office in January of 1993. He was, this crisis erupted, and he had to deal with it right away. And so this was in February, March when I got contacted, and I had just returned from 5 years in Southeast Asia in December of 2012, and just a couple of months later I was asked to go down and work in Haiti, and I did that, and I served there and set up that operation. And I like to think, Jean-Claude, that we did save lives. We did prevent people from getting in boats, and certainly the flow of refugees trying to get in boats and get to Florida did come to a complete stop, which was good for everyone.
It's a two-pronged question. One of them, which is your normal pitch as far as why you're running, and what is the responsibility of the treasurer, because most of the people in here just think only about the money aspect.
Right.
But I think there's a little bit more details in that.
Well, thank you, Jean-Claude, for the question. I'm running for state treasurer to help make Massachusetts more of a commonwealth of equal opportunity, a place where economic justice isn't just an idea, but a reality, a place where people who are working hard and playing by the rules have a chance to move up and move ahead in life. And those are the values that have guided me over the course of the past 25 years of my professional life. Those are the values that I hope guide our agenda and our actions up at the State House. They're certainly going to guide mine as the next state treasurer. And in terms of what I want to do is I want to open up educational and job opportunities for people through the authority that the treasurer has right now. So let's review the second part of your question, Jean-Claude. What does the treasurer do? Treasurer does 5 things and then some, and I'll explain the 5 things real quickly, and then I'll explain in detail quickly the initiatives that speak to educational and job opportunities. So number 1, the treasurer issues bonds. Basically, if you have viewers who have ever taken out a mortgage on their house, the treasurer does that same process. You need a big loan, the treasurer's the one that issues that loan on behalf of fixing our roads, our bridges, our school buildings, our water infrastructure, et cetera, all throughout the Commonwealth, our state buildings, our information technology that we need, anything with a capital expenditure on it. So treasurer needs to make a case to the bond market, to the investment community, that Massachusetts is a good investment, a good long-term investment. We can pay back a 30-year bond. We can generate the kind of revenue that we need as a state to pay that back. That's number 1. Number 2, the lottery. The treasurer manages the lottery. Many of your viewers may be quite familiar with that. 3, the treasurer manages something called the Massachusetts School Building Authority. Again, many of your viewers may understand that if a school district, Randolph, Boston, Brockton, wherever, throughout every single school district throughout the Commonwealth. If they want to renovate or rebuild a school building, they come to the treasurer's office for project finance and management experience and expertise, but also for money, because the treasurer can offer some money to get those buildings built. So that's 3. Number 4, managing the state pension fund. It's a $60 billion pension fund that is setting aside money for state employees once they retire so that they can retire in dignity. You can imagine that's a lot of responsibility, investing that money wisely, investing that money with a social and economic justice conscience, and that's something that I want to do as treasurer. The last big thing that the treasurer does, number 5, is cash management. Again, some of your viewers, most perhaps, have a checking account at a bank. The treasurer manages the Commonwealth's checking account. We need to put that money in a bank somewhere. And that's what the treasurer does. Choosing which banks and where they're located and how much to invest in our banks is something that the treasurer needs to decide every day. So what are the opportunities I want to create? I want to use that school building authority to build pre-K classrooms so that we can move down the path so that our 3, 4, and 5-year-olds enjoy universal pre-K education throughout our Commonwealth. I want to address the student debt crisis that is plaguing students and families with all sorts of college loans that they can't afford, they can't pay back. It's slowing down our economy, it's strangling families' economic futures. And third, I want to invest more of that checking account money in local banks. Local banks that are headquartered here in Massachusetts, not Swiss bank accounts, not Wall Street banks, but Massachusetts banks, so that they can lend more to local businesses, including veteran-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses. And I'd actually like to go even further, Jean-Claude. We only have one community of color owned and operated bank here in Massachusetts out of 173. I'd like to see if, as the next treasurer, I could help jumpstart the creation of a Portuguese-owned bank, a Haitian-owned bank, a Cape Verdean-owned bank, a Hispanic-owned bank. There's a need out there because there are small businesses out there.
You're talking the language of the folks that who are watching you right now.
Well, I hope so,
Yeah.
because that's the vision that I have. We need to connect credit and banks with businesses that want access to that credit. And they are what are making our main streets of Massachusetts, our local communities thrive, these small businesses, and they need to grow and hire new people into those local Main Street middle-class jobs.